Hello everyone, welcome to level 1 of NLG. My name is Isabella and I will be your instructor for today. So a quick reminder before we start, this is level 1 class. That means that there will be energy activation throughout this class that is of level 1. So if you are in level 2, 3, 4, or 5 and you're just here to revise the content or you're like to just tuned in, then you're welcome to do so. But please remember, do not receive the energy activation throughout this class because they will be strictly for level 1 participants. Okay, so I just quickly checked the audio and apparently everything is fine. So let's get started. So throughout today's class, of course, I'll talk you through the structure of this. So we'll talk about some basic information of NLG, a really basic introduction to what NLG is, what this energy is about, and how to get the most out of this energy method. And then I'll walk you through the formula for today that you will be using to practice only within today, because in tomorrow's class, we will have another set of formula, which will be the sets of formula that you will always go for all the way until you start with level 2. And then, of course, there will be energy activation. So there's 3 really important parts to this class that I hope that you will stay throughout the entire class so that you don't miss out on any part of it. Now, during the energy activation, if you experience any technical issue, make sure to just stay calm. And something you need to know about energy is that even if we can't see each other or don't have direct contact with each other, if you know that I'm transmitting energy or giving our energy activation, then you can still receive it, because these are the transmissions that happen in real time. So just a heads up about that. And so before we start, I like to send everyone healing energy support so that we can start this class fresh. So it's very similar to the energy transmission that Mr. Lay transmit during the daily transmission. So basically, the ways in which that you will be receiving energy is very similar to that. So you just look at my forehead and you visualize energy from my forehead going into yours, and then just let that energy absorb throughout the body until my alarm rings, and I'll let you know when it's finished. So I will set my timer to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'll go ahead and transmit healing energy to you now before we start this class. So let's get ready, everyone. So just to repeat, what you will do is you will look at me. I will have my eyes closed the entire time. And of course, you will open your eyes the entire time so that you can look at me and, well, more precisely, look at my forehead. And then you visualize energy from my forehead going into yours and just let that absorb. Make sure that you focus throughout the entirety of the practice duration so that you can get the most out of these healing support session. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so we have completed the energy transmission, everyone, and that was the healing transmission. That's very different from the energy activation that you will receive from me later on. Okay, so just very quickly open up the live stream. Okay, wonderful. All right, so let's discuss some basic introductions about NLG. So NLG is a practice-based method that benefits a lot of different aspects in your life. And many of you, when you come into this method, you may feel a variety of improvements or differences as you go. A lot of people, the first thing that they experience is actually health improvements. And that is because many participants coming into NLG with an illness, and they try to find a solution for that. So NLG has 5 class levels. We have level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 being the highest as of now. And of course, in order to proceed to a high class level, you need to finish the previous one. And so level 1 consists of 2 sessions. They are different. They have different content. They have different energy activation. So you are required to complete both sessions of level 1 in order for you to be considered a level 1 participant, and with that, having the ability to practice level 1 formulas. So the level 1, as I've said, consists of 2 sessions. Today's the first sessions, and then we'll have another session tomorrow. Level 2 consists of 1 session only, and level 3 consists of 3 sessions. Level 4 consists of 5 sessions if you do it in person, and level 5 consists of 13 sessions, and that's also an in-person class as well. So level 1 and 2, we can complete them online, much like what we're doing now through a live stream via Facebook and YouTube. And then level 3, 4, and 5, generally they are offered in person, but then Mr. Lay has been really generous in terms of offering participant online classes for level 3, and recently it was level 4, but that was a really rare opportunity. We don't really know when we're going to have an opportunity like that. And so when there's energy classes, our advice is always to make time for it. Because particularly with a high class level, a lot of the time people miss out on an opportunity thinking that there will be other classes to come. But then, of course, as we are a non-profit organization, we're really trying to keep up with the schedule and everything. But it's always good to just get yourself updated with the latest class levels, as well as announcements regarding class events, so that you don't miss out on any opportunity like that. So NLG can be practiced by participants as young as 8 years old. So 8 to 12 years old children in particular, they need parental supervision. And it's usually that the parents learn NLG first, they see the benefits, and then they introduce it to their children. And of course, supervise them as they go so that they understand the process of how to practice the formulas. And of course, they don't lose interest when they have questions that they don't understand. So other than the 5 class level, we also have 3 really special programs. So the first one is applying NLG to agriculture. The second one is applying NLG to assist couples with infertility concerns, and also just for couples in general to have healthy, intelligent baby. And so in these 2 programs, you are required to finish level 3 or above in order for you to have the energy frequency to participate in this. Whereas level 1 and 2, that's really foundation level. It's just for you to really understand, build good foundation of understanding of this method, and for you to spend time to explore it before you're ready for a high class level such as 3, 4, and 5. And then the third program that we offer at NLG is the instructor training program. So in order to participate in that, you need to complete level 4 or above. And so in my case, I'm a level 5 participant, and I have gone through the training and things like that. Not necessarily being an instructor, but just a participant who really loved this method, and I like to share it with everyone. And then when it comes to your own decisions, of course, you're going to make your own decisions of whether you want to go with this method or not, and how you're going to practice it. But our job here is just to present you with information, and then the rest is really, it depends on you. So energy is a practice-based method. It requires you to practice it every day with quality and consistency, of course, with precisions as well. It can be very beneficial for your health if you are looking for health transformation. But it's all about practicing the formulas correctly, as well as meeting the core elements of energy. Is sort of like meeting the prerequisite before you're coming into a course. Now, NLG is not an alternative treatment, and it should not replace your current medical treatment. If you have a condition, certainly consult with your doctors, and you can practice NLG alongside as a separate thing, as a separate practice. And after you practice NLG, of course, if you feel any improvements and things like that, it can be useful to inform your doctors of those transformations so that they can adjust if needed to provide you with the most appropriate treatment plans, medical treatment plan, that is. And so if you need consultation, certainly go to your doctor and ask them about it thoroughly. Excuse me. So NLG is not political or religious. Okay, and so be mindful when you share information about NLG with others so that they can have a precise understanding of what this method's really about. And as you get to high class level, of course, Mr. Lee will share with you about the other projects that NLG can support with, as I mentioned briefly. And so a short introductions of our founder, Mr. Lee. So his name is Lê Văn Phúc, and he was born in Biên Hòa province of Vietnam, which is now Đông Nam province of Vietnam. And at the age of 22, he joined his family and moved to the United States. And he encountered this really great opportunity to learn from a really special master who led him to NLG. He learned it, he applied it to himself, and then shared it with just a smaller groups of people. And before he knows it, the effects of NLG, as well as the loving ways, the loving, caring ways of living that he's trying to promote, really was really well loved by other people. And so people start to come in and practice and learn this method. So at the start of 2020, he went to Vietnam, and he, together with NLG volunteers, they put together many NLG classes. And then in 2021, he returned to the US, and he continued to organize classes online and offline for people. So for example, we have classes in Thailand, we have classes in Malaysia, Europe, and of course here in the US. And so that's just a few points about our founder, Mr. Phúc Lê. And Mr. Lê used to teach level 1 and 2 himself as well, until things got quite busy for him. And so now he mainly teaches level 3 and above. And then we have trained instructors to help him with level 1 and 2. Okay, so now I'd like to show you the screen. I'd like to share with you the screen. We'll go through some of the class recommendation. Okay, so you can see here some class recommendation. Please arrange to attend the course on time to receive the activation fully. Being on time also show respect for the instructor and everyone in class. It will help avoid network congestion when too many people decide to join at the same time. Choose your study space. Please set up your study space in a quiet place away from distraction during the activations and practice session. Copyright energy content without our permission is prohibited. Please do not record or distribute our video lectures online without our consent. All online courses will be recorded for tracking purposes on our energy platform. You can attend our course by phone, laptop, iPad, etc. Ensure you check your device before attending our online classes. We will have time for questions at the end, and if not, usually we do, well, before we do, but then now we'd like to give you a more thorough explanations of some of the core elements of energy. And so if we ended up not having enough time for question at the end, I will show you the Telegram QR code. You can scan it, you can join the class, and then, sorry, you can join the group, and then you can ask questions in there, which also benefits your fellow classmates as well. So NLG stand for năng lượng gốc, and it is the original energy source. Method is provided by the NLG Energy Source University to support anyone seeking assistance from NLG. NLG online courses are completely free, so you can see that level 1 and 2 are completely free. So if anyone tell you, or you heard from someone that you need to pay or something like that, that is not true. Well, at least as of now, it is not true, because level 1 and 2 we offer to you for free. And then from level 3, of course, there's a certain amount of fee that we really encourage and appreciate everyone to contribute, because it can, with that, it helps our organization to continue to put out content and free classes for more people, as well as to help us work on different projects that support humanity. So energy techniques and information is for educational purposes only and cannot be substituted for the advice or care of a medical professional. It does not replace doctors' diagnoses and medical treatment. We recommend the participants consult a doctor before undertaking alternative health improving methods. We will not accept any liability or warranty, or not be responsible to any individual if you do not see any improvements. NLG participants are responsible for their current state of health, and we need to monitor their progress. NLG participants need to have self-awareness and follow the instructions and formulas to achieve desired outcomes. NLG is not a religion, neither is a meeting ground for ritual activities. NLG does not advise participants to give up or join any religion or political party. NLG Energy University does not participate in any religion or political institution of any country. Okay, so with that, let's move on to the actual content. So we'll start by sharing some information about the logos of NLG so that you understand what energy is about, how we come to have this energy source that we now would like to share with other people. And it is not our energy source, it's just that we know of the techniques to share it. And the good news is that everyone can get connected to this energy source if you meet these requirements. So you can see these are the 3 logos of NLG in this particular sequence. So in April 23rd of 2023, Mr. Lace introduced these logos in this particular sequence to us. So on the left-hand side here, you have the Cosmic Divine Light logo. In the middle, you have the university logo, and then in the on the right-hand side, you have the Loving Home logo. And so if you look at this first logo here, which we call the Cosmic Divine Light, the pattern in it, it started off as chom dom, so in other words, bronze drum. That's Vietnamese for bronze drum, which is a concept that some of you might have heard of, or you might have seen this pattern before. And you notice that the center of this pattern, at first, it looks like a big sun with 14 arrays, but then Mr. Lee gradually decoded and unlocked the energy within it. So as you get to level 3, Mr. Lee will probably explain a little bit further about how he did that. And then now that it is Cosmic Divine Light and it returns to the original, I guess, forms of this pattern, then you see that in the middle now we have this perfect circle that represent light, that embraces all beings and is enough for all beings, which contain great lessons, and lessons in the sense of energy source that we can take and we can harness, we can utilize it to put it into practice, basically to build an ascended civilization. So it is enabled by the Energy University. So that's where all the knowledge and wisdom become more visible. So basically, you can think about it as from energy into practice. And there's no limit, of course, to the Cosmic Divine Light energy source, which is why it allows us to do all sorts of amazing things, both for ourselves as well as for other people. And it's more precisely, it is for humanity. So once we go from here to here, that's when we can then build the loving homes from the knowledge that we have, that we've learned from the Cosmic Divine Light, and we have the opportunity to bring it to life in the Ascended Civilization, or in other words, the NLG University. And not only that, we're able to maintain and support the loving home actively as well. The loving home portraits a family with parents and children, and all of them have really, really special connection to one another, representing genuine love and bond. So you can see that there are 13 heartbeats representing 12 months in a year, and the 13th heartbeat indicates humanity's energy connection to the outer space civilization. And so that's the basic information, or more so introduction to these logos of NLG. Now, this Cosmic Divine Light energy here, it comes from the outer space civilization. So that is a term that we often use in NLG, which some of you might ask, how do we make sense of that? What is the outer space civilization? And where does this energy, comes from more precisely within that outer space civilization? Now, at this very basic level, I'm going to give you a really simple explanation so that you don't feel too overwhelmed. So basically, when we talk about the outer space civilization, visualize it. as like a country, okay, that's really far away from us, but is very advanced, very civilized, and the being who exists there, they are really, really sophisticated in all aspects of their lives. So they're more advanced than us, they're better than us, and they want to help us out. Seeing the struggles and the challenges that humanity has experienced, they want to help us out. And so this energy source actually existed for a very long time now, but it's actually a part of us. It's a part of humanity, but through the ways in which that we've lived our lives, and particularly when we're looking back into history, we have done certain things that perhaps distance ourselves from this energy source. And so it's still the same energy, but then what matters is the energy frequency in which you can connect. And so visualize it as like in a school system. So of course you have your kindergarten level, you have your primary school level, you have your high school level, university level, etc. And so whichever frequency of energy that you can approach, or in other words, which level of academic achievement you can have. But this is not to do with academic achievement. It's really just an example that I use to compare it to emphasize that there are different energy frequency. Okay, so whichever frequency that you can approach, that will be very different in terms of the things that you can do, either for yourself or for humanity. But generally for humanity, the energy source that you need, it's really enormous. And so that's why we're not using our own energy. We're using this energy source from the outer space civilization. And so how can we get access to it, right? Now, the reason why we even talk about this energy in the first place is because here at NLG, what we look to do, is actually to resolve these three challenges for humanity. And so you can see here, so first of all, wars and conflict, poverty and hungers, illness and diseases. Okay, now, of course, if we look at this from a larger scale, it's all they are all very relevant to us. Okay, so we probably don't need to talk extensively about that because I believe that everyone knows what's going on around the world. But if you look at this from a more personal perspective, which a lot of the time we encourage you to do so, because for some of you, you may not experience, one or the other of these challenges, even though we live in a society that we're affected more or less. But if we look at these challenges from a more personal perspective, then when it comes to illnesses and diseases, of course, this is something that we have to deal with. Lots of us have to deal with. The severity can differ, but it could be a mild condition that we're trying to resolve, or it can be a terminal condition that we've battled our entire life. And so that's pretty straightforward. Every one of us still have that to resolve. And when we talk about wars and conflicts, we also look at it from a personal perspective. So, for example, conflicts within oneself, conflicts within family. And for example, when you say that you're happy, but that's only on the surface and deep down you're not really happy, you don't find the motivation to try harder to build discipline in your life. And a lot of the time, you let your emotions or other people's thoughts about you take over your own behaviors. And so there's that conflicts there that we always have to fight with on a daily basis. And if we talk about poverty and hunger, of course, a lot of people around the world still living under poverty, but also, the things within us. That is our economic status. Sometimes, a lot of us look like we're doing okay, but then deep down, we have to worry a lot about not just ourselves, but our family as well. And a lot of us still find it very difficult to earn money to satisfy even the basic needs, or to feed our family, to ensure a stable source of income, to keep our home, etc. And the fact that we can't ignore is the number of homeless people on the street every day, and people are struggling physically, mentally as well. So how do we resolve these issues? Because what we are sharing with you here is that we have this energy source from the outer space civilization, and we understand the techniques that we can use to connect to it. So how do we resolve this? So the elements to have, of course, genuine moral values. So this is something that I like to invite you to think about and to prioritize it. Because oftentimes we might be familiar with the term morality, or we talk about that a lot, and maybe we even think that we know enough about it. But if we know about it, and if we've been doing the right thing, then why is it that people still try to hurt one another, take advantage of one another, and do lots and lots of things that don't reflect these values? And so that's why, when you come into NLG, you need to understand that we encourage you to have an open mind. You do need to have an open mind when you come into this method, and you do need to be very open, in the sense that you are accepting of the things that will be presented to you. Sometimes it's very thought-provoking, and sometimes you might feel offended even, right? Or maybe it sounds a little bit strange as to why we need to think about the things that we do when you come into NLG. But that's exactly the things that seem very normal, very ordinary, but then it makes such a big difference when you actually start to do it. And so other than the moral values, which we invite you to prioritize, we also have the 5 forms of love. Now, before you come into NLG, it doesn't matter what you've done, whether you know about love, whether you have shown love to other people. Once you come in, what we encourage you to do is to adapt to more loving behaviors. Because when you do that, that is in line with the nature of NLG as a method. Now, if you have already practiced love, that is excellent. That's really great. You can certainly refine it and keep going. And as you get to high class levels of NLG, it's not just about having these elements, but it's about upgrading it, as you go, as you continue with the method. And at NLG, we don't judge you for the things that you have done. What really matters is how you're going to move forward from here, knowing the information that we present to you. So at level 1, it is really important to recognize the keys of NLG. It helps you to certainly achieve your goals better and quicker. It helps you to build a good foundation of knowledge that is like a house with a really strong foundation. And so throughout level 1 and 2 in particular, we will repeat quite a lot of these content, but it is really important. It's not just about repeating it, but it's more about, making a statement, reminding everyone that these are the things to have. And even if you get to level 5, okay, these elements still go, they're still very prominent to the practice of NLG. So the 5 forms of love, let's talk about that. So in the previous slide, sorry. So in the previous slide, we actually talked about the 5 forms of, well, we mentioned the 5 forms of love. So let me just share this slide with you very quickly so that you can see on the screen here. Okay. So the 5 forms of love you can see on the screen here, they are self-love, love for family, love for country, love for humankind, and love for all living things. So they are in this particular sequence, which I guess it can be a little bit puzzling to some people, because why is it that we practice self-love first? Why is it the first thing that we need to be mindful of? And also when it is introduced to you in this particular sequence, it means that we will work through them in this particular sequence. So level one, you are required to work on self-love and love for family. And then level 2, you are required to work on love for country. And of course, you still need to uphold these 2 forms of love here. And then by the time you get to level 3, you're required to really refine all 5 forms of love. Okay. And then when you get to level 4 and 5, of course, you have to upgrade these levels of love in the sense of practicing that is not just with your understanding. Your understanding is one thing, but then it's also about the practice. That's what's really important. So how come self-love is the first thing, is the first forms of love that we need to refine? So a lot of the time we try to reach out and help other people. That's the things that we want to do. We say that we want to give back to the world. But then if you want to do that, but you struggle with the 3 challenges that we just talked about, then how are you going to do it, right? Because you might think that helping other people is a way for me to really reduce my stress and to forget about the things that perhaps happening to me, or the things that are happening to me at home with my families, with my friends and things like that. If you leave these things unresolved, ultimately you will burn out, and it would create other problems as well when it comes to your energy connection. And so the first thing that we need to work on is ourselves. Okay. Now, if we can't take good care of ourselves, then we can't take good care of other people. And so that's just what's happening in real life. Even though sometimes we try a little bit too hard to achieve certain goals out there, and then we're trying to reach out to people and help them. But if deep down we're not okay, we're not happy, we don't really understand how to practice love correctly, a lot of the time we will burn down and we'll feel really, really stressed afterwards. And then we'll end up letting our emotions and other people's thoughts about us and other people's behaviors take control of our own behavior. And so self-love, it's very different from selfishness, okay, which I will probably talk about that in tomorrow's class. And when you can balance your mind as well as your body, then that is one of the best way to show self-love. Because when you can compose yourself, what you're doing is you're putting yourself in this frequency that we called the +1 -1 frequency. So it's very much like when your when your heart rate resting at 60 to 80 beats per minute. So it is a state where basically your body feels balance as well as your energy connection. And so when you put yourself in this particular frequency, because you understand love, because you choose to be in full control of yourself, because you're not letting your emotion take over you, then what happens is you can connect to this energy source more effectively. And when that happens, this energy will then support the cells in your body. The cells in your body really need this energy. It's very much like the food and the drink that us humans have every day. We need that to survive. And so these cells in our body, they need this energy to maximize their function. Okay, so cells without energy is like human without oxygen, basically. And once you understand the importance of energy for the cells, I hope that you would prioritize self-love. And self-love here, it doesn't mean that you get everything for yourself, but it's more so that you understand what love is about. You understand that that is something that can help you to resolve everything that you encounter. And it also helps you to realize that whichever situation that you're in, you can use love to respond, let's say, to people or to those situations that you encounter. So if we break it down even further, it's about not be angry, not be bitter, not be hateful towards other people or situations that perhaps you don't agree with or that you don't like, or that you're not fond of. And so you really need to work with those feelings, with those emotions, and return yourself to a balanced state that we call the +1 -1 frequency. Now, after you finish level 1, of course, you have formulas to support your family members. And so that's also points to love of family. And love of family, there's really sacred, I guess, connection as well between one family members to another. So Mr. Jelly will talk about this in high class level, but it's really about building a home with real connection where everyone understand their parts to play in that family. And by that I mean the love that they need to devote, the understanding that they need to have, the empathy that they need to be willing to have for other family member, and not perceive family as something that's given. Of course, it's such a big part of us, but a lot of the time, these are the people that we really need to take care of. It's not that because you're family, so you're supposed to do this for me, or you just love me unconditionally. A lot of the time, our parents love us unconditionally, but of course, when we are a son, a daughter, or a parent, a grandparent, we all need to put in the effort to show love to our family members. They are the closest to us, and there's a really, really great energy connection between family members. And when you learn to show love to other people, and you do it, and you do a good job of that, then you'll be able to show love to a bigger community. Okay. So with a +1 -1 frequency, let me just share that with you. Okay. So the +1 -1 frequency that we just talked about, think about this as the favorite frequency for the cells in our body, because the cells in our body need to get connected to this energy source from outer space civilization. And they would do so when we regulate ourselves to be in this frequency. Now, if you're not in the +1 -1 frequency, you can just sit there all day, try to practice over and over again, but it won't work 100%. Because basically your connection, in other words, your frequency, it's far from the +1 -1 frequency. So this frequency is something that you can form through the flows of thoughts, through the state of self-control. It's something that you can create for yourself, you can train yourself to do. It doesn't come naturally, unfortunately. Everyone needs to really work hard for this. And the reason why we can get to this frequency through love is because the state of love equals harmony, composure, and peace, and all of these great values that we want to have. And so if you don't have love, even if you receive the energy activation, you will not be able to practice effectively the formulas as well as this energy method in general. Now, it is not to say that we cannot be upset or happy or excited. Of course, emotion is a part of us, as usual, and but it's more about how we deal with these emotions. So let's say before, when you're upset, you can be upset for days and days, but now that you learn NLG, you understand about the +1 -1 frequency, you understand about love, morality, and it's not just about understanding it, but putting it into practice. And so if you say that you understand it, then do it, right? Practice it. If you say that I'm a loving person, then the next time that someone says something to upset you, you know, really try to regulate yourself and return yourself to the balanced state of +1 -1 as soon as you can. And it's basically when you have that understanding and you say that you're a loving person, then you need to put it into practice by being willing to remain calm and to, of course, let go of negative things. Okay, so it's not about the thing that you say to other people that you are a loving person, but it's more so about the things that you're willing to do. And certainly, if you're willing to make changes to the way that you've been doing things, if you haven't been loving, if you haven't been caring, if you haven't been expressing your moral values as much as you would like. So now that you're aware of the +1 -1 frequency, it's really important to ask yourself, so how many hours in a day can you maintain yourself in this frequency? So let's say that someone says something to hurt you unconsciously or consciously. um, how do you feel, right? How do you feel right at that moment? And then how do you react to that? Because a lot of the time we can be quite upset as well when other people trying to hurt us or say something that's really rude. Of course, a lot of the time we're upset, we're even angry, but then your response, right? Your response, it's what important. So even if you're upset, but then in your head you're thinking, wait a minute, I need to return to this +1 -1 frequency, because I want to continuously connect to this energy source so that I can provide healing support for myself. I can reach out to other people to give them support, as well as to use this energy to apply into my life. So because I want that, even though, yes, I am upset at this person, but I'm not going to respond in a negative way. Instead, I'm going to really work within myself to bring that anger down. And then just respond to that person in a very calm, polite manner, right? Oftentimes, it's easier for us to say that we're fine, that we're very loving, that we're a calm person. it's very easy for us to do that, but when it comes to actually showing, right? Showing other people that we can do it, or even showing ourselves more often. Because oftentimes sometimes we're just not honest, even with ourselves. And so that's something to, really consider changing. And when you look at something being done in a negative way, take that as a lesson. Don't repeat it. And actually, if someone do something really mean to you, instead of, respond in a way that, to hurt them or to get back at them, just thank them, right? Thank you for, showing me this lesson. I get to learn a free lessons of how not to treat other people, and with that, I don't have to I don't have to repeat the mistake. And when I don't repeat the mistake, I don't deal damages to my own energy connection. Okay, so basically it's about maintaining that energy that energy connection, to maintain that frequency of +1 -1, and to basically stop normalizing being mean to other people, or to try to justify your behavior, that because it is due to certain reason, because the other person upsets you first, and so it's only fair that you do something similar to them. Don't try to justify for that. Don't try to normalize that. I think that there's enough of that in this world, and we have seen how things often turn out when we keep talking, discussing things like that, negatively. We just discuss negativity back and forth, and we don't really appreciate one another. We don't really show love to one another. And so that's something that we'd like to invite you to really think about. And if you want to come into energy and make the most out of it, then it's certainly something that's really worthwhile for you to work on. I also have a participant asking me, it's not that because they don't want to be loving, but because things keep coming, right? Coming to them, and they keep experiencing all of these challenges and obstacles along the way. And they said, well, it's not because I don't want to be loving, but I find it quite difficult. How do we do it when the world's happening around us in a non-stop manner? Right? And so my answer to that is yes, the world's, the things around the world and the things around you will happen non-stop. Um, I mean, you can't really change, a lot of those things. As in, you can't really control how other people react to you. You can't really control the things that's going to happen. Sometimes you say it's just sort of like you have a bad day. Uh, but what you can control is yourself. And that is something that you really need to learn to control. Every one of us, we need to learn how to do that. A lot of the time, we let other things take control of us, right? And it has been, and then we try to justify for that. But after all, we're not really in control of ourselves. We don't let this loving nature of us as a species to take control of us, right? We let these negative emotions and resentment and all of these, really questionable elements to then take over how we present ourselves, how we behave to towards other people, and that's an issue, right? It goes back to the three challenges that we have as humanity, and certainly, we really encourage you to have a think about that and really try to regulate yourself as you go, particularly if you come into energy and you want to make the most out of it. So now let's have a look at this is one of my favorite example. So basically, we'll show you the chicken and the egg. comparison. Okay, so these means would just point to the consistency of your practice. So basically, the typical period for the chicken egg to hatch is 21 days. And so that's the same thing when you practice energy. Everyone is not 21 day, but it points to, putting in the practice to a certain point until you can feel changes. Okay. And now, for some of you, you might feel these changes when you are activated. You feel a little tingling sensation in your forehead, or you might feel warmth throughout your bodies or certain parts of the body. Your spine or around your shoulder, your arms and legs. And so the point is to practice accurately according to how the formulas instruct you. Now you should, and as Mr. Lee often say, you should practice accurately, adequately, consistently. If the formula instructs you to open your eyes while you practice, please do that. If it tells you to practice for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, please do that. Don't improvise, okay? The formulas has been standardized according to Mr. Lay's knowledge of this method. And so as participants, of course, you are asked to appreciate and to respect these standardized formulas. It also points to your practice of love and morality as well. It's not being good and nice one day and then the next day going back to being negative and hateful. It's about being very consistent with the practice of the formulas, as well as the core elements of NLG, which are love and morality. So learn to make it a part of you, make love and morality a part of you in everything that you do, in every situation that you face, and in how you respond to other people as well as to other situations. All right, so I think I'll go ahead and activate everyone with the brain cell activation now. So this is level 1 brain cell activation. I will show you a short video to demonstrate how you can receive this activation. Okay, so basically what you would do is you will keep your eyes open the entire time, whereas I will close my eyes, and then you will look at me and you will visualize energy from my forehead going into your brain continuously, all the way until I say that thumbs up. Okay, so I will set my timer to 1 minute and 30 seconds, and I will show you the demonstration video now. Okay, here it is. So basically visualize this. This is you, right? So you'll be looking at my forehead, and then you visualize energy going into your brain like that. So just keep going like that all the way until I say that time's up. Okay, and then if you feel like the energy doesn't just stay in your brain, but it actually flows throughout the bodies or something like that, that's completely fine, even though you don't direct them to flow throughout your body. But if it does, don't stress about it, just let it be and just relax throughout the entirety of the energy activation. Okay, so I hope that everyone's ready. Now this is level 1, brain cell activation. Okay, so any of you who are excuse me. So anyone who are in level 2, 3, 4, and 5, if you're here to revise this content, then just look away now, because I will activate the level 1 energy activation. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Timer 1 minute and 30 seconds. Now, if you experience any technical issue, let's say if we are halfway through and then for some reason you just don't see me on the screen anymore, let's say an internet problem or something like that, just estimate the 1 minute and 30 seconds. Keep receiving it because I'm still transmitting the activation. Okay, because this is happening in real time. When there's a little red dot that indicates that this is a live stream, it means that I'm activating you in real life. Not in real life, in real time. Sorry, everyone, in real time. So you may not see me, but I'm doing it, right? So that still works. And also, if you miss out, just so that we're on this topic, if you miss out on one of the level 1 activation, you are required to repeat another level 1 until you receive both of the activation that we mentioned, so that you can then continue with level 2. Okay. All right, so let's receive this brain cell activation. All right, 1 minute and 30 seconds. Let's get started. Okay, so congratulations, everyone. You have completed the first energy activation of level 1. So now let's go ahead and I'll show you the formula. The formula for today. So this will be your first formula, and we will only have one formula for today's class. It is so that you can practice, you can have I guess first experience with practicing NLG formula. And if you have any questions, certainly reach out to us. Okay, so this is the brain cell activation frequency formula. So you can see here that with all NLG formulas, we break it down into different steps like this. So that is easy for you to follow, and it's certainly easier for you to practice as well. So with all of these steps here, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? What you would do when you practice is you would recite them silently in your head. So basically you will read them in your head. You don't need to mumble, you don't need to read them out loud. You just sit very quietly, relax, and focus. Don't put a lot of pressure onto yourself or anything like that, but just relax, right? And then practice according to the instructions in the formula. So step 1, receive cosmic divine light, new era NLG level 1 frequency band, brain cell activation frequency. Okay, so of course you will recite this silently in your head. And then after that, receive energy into the brain. So that means you visualize energy from outer space entering the brain. Now, there's no need to visualize what the outer space look like. Okay, so don't bother with, let's say, what does it look like? What colors? How do I visualize it? Just visualize it. Okay, as in just visualize the energy from outer space entering your brain and not having to, go into the specific details of that. So receive energy into the brain, you will recite that in your head. And then you will recite in your head, receive first time. So basically, when you say receive first time in your head, you visualize energy from outer space entering the brain. And then receive second time. Once again, you visualize energy from outer space entering your brain. And then receive third time. So one more time like that. And in between each time, you would wait for 3 to 5 seconds. Okay. And so basically pay attention to these verbs here. When it say receive, you receive. Okay, so these are verbs. So these are the things that you do. You don't just read them in your head. You actually direct energy according to what these verbs says. Okay, so then step 3, send energy from the brain. So from here into the ERC. Now the ERC is short for Energy Reception Center. So it is at the back of your neck. It's sort of like just right where your shoulder meets. So it's like at this part of the spine here. So send first time, send second time, and send third time. And of course, you will wait for 3 to 5 seconds in between. Step 4, continuously direct energy into the brain and transmit it into the ERC. So basically, you continuously visualize energy from outer space going into the brain, and then you transmit it down to the ERC. Now, step 4 is basically the step where you will spend most of your time in, basically because it's the last step. So once you get to step 4, you don't go back to step 1 within a practice session, okay? Instead, you will spend the most time for step 4. You let the warmth of energy spreads on its own until alarm rings. Now, when it says direct energy, please direct energy. I have had participant reporting that they have headaches when they practice this. And then afterwards, we realized that what they did when they practiced this formula is that after they recite step 4 in their head, then they stop, like they don't do anything else. Basically, they keep that energy there and then they just don't direct it. So that's not how you practice it, okay? You're supposed to direct it according to the instruction here. So make sure that basically everything in these steps are the things that you do. You don't just sit there and do nothing, okay? So until basically you will be directing energy all the way until the alarm rings. Now, before you work on this formula, make sure that you read the notes as well as the practice duration. So the note is sit here when practicing, keep your eyes open and direct energy accordingly. And the practice duration for children from 8 to 12 years old, that will be 2 minutes and 30 seconds. 13 to 18 years old, that will be 3 minutes and 30 seconds. For people who are above 18 years old, that will be 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Now, an important note here is that the brain cell activation frequency, you practice it for yourself. So basically you don't apply it to other people. So the practice duration depends on your age. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And really try to practice this formula because you will only practice this today prior to day 2, which is tomorrow. So when we get to tomorrow's lesson, we will have other formulas and we will no longer practice this one. So this is a great opportunity for everyone to just experience what it's like to practice an energy formula. So with this formula, you can practice it anywhere from 1 to 3 times on your own. You can practice it one session after the other, or maybe you want to space it out a few hours apart. That's totally depends on you. Trying to sit somewhere that you feel calm and focused, really work on that warmth that we've talked about when you practice the formulas. If you are distracted for more than 30 seconds, please start again. Okay, don't try to continue to practice when you know that basically your mind has wandered off somewhere else. And that's what we mean by distraction. It is your mind wander off somewhere else, because remember that when you practice these, we direct energy through thoughts. Okay, not through breathing, not through any other means, but it is through our thoughts. So if your mind starts to wander off somewhere else, make sure that you start again, right? More than 30 seconds, then you start again. And also, yes, I know that for many of you, the practice duration will be 5 minutes and 30 seconds because you're above 18 years old. So what you do when you sit down to practice is that try to focus. If you find it really difficult to focus, then just focus on an object or maybe look at the wall or something like that. And also, because you'll be sitting there for 5 minutes and 30 seconds, you can blink, of course, or else your eyes will be really, really dry. You can cough, you can sneeze. That doesn't count as distraction. Okay, that just happened in like 1 second or something like that. That's not distractions. But if your mind starts to wander off somewhere, then that is distraction. When you are aware that your minds start to wander somewhere else, gently just bring it back to the present, right? To the present moment. Now, if you're distracted, if your mind wanders off for more than 30 seconds, just restart. You can be, you can sit down, you can lie down, whatever you feel like. And also, if you have a medical condition that prevents you from, sit up and you have to lie down, or you have to be in a particular position, that's fine as well. You can still practice this method and formula. And also, when you receive the activation from me, as well as when you practice, if later on you feel like you have a mild headache, let's say you have sort of that tingling sensation around your forehead, and then you feel like you have a little bit of a headache, that means that the cells are actually receiving energy, okay, and that they are working to readjust the things that are wrong with the cells in your body, and the cells in your body trying to really keep up with this energy, trying to upgrade itself and trying to function properly, so that days after days it'll be able to match with the actual energy frequency that you've been activated. So there are 2 ways that you can get rid of that mild headache. The first is to keep practicing, okay, practicing on a daily basis, not exceeding the number of times per formula, please, because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. And also, we have a breathing techniques for you. So basically, when you have a headache, because after receiving an activation or after you practice these formula here, if you have a headache, you can breathe in through your nose and then you breathe out through your mouth. Okay, so you breathe in through your nose for 3 seconds and then you breathe out through your mouth for 6 seconds. So basically, a short inhale and a long exhale. Okay, and you do that 3 times, and that should get rid of the mild headache that you have. All right, so now I would like for us to practice this formula together. Okay, so that you understand exactly how it's done, when you do it on your own. So what I'll do is I will leave this formula on the screen now, and then I will play a demonstration audio for you that I've recorded so that you know the pace that you expect to practice, and you understand exactly how to practice it. All right, so let's get started. I will temporarily close my video so that it doesn't block out any parts of the formulas. All right, so let's get started.
This is practice session for brain cell activation frequency. Timer 5 minutes and 30 seconds for participant above 18 years old. Step 1. Recite silently once. Receive Cosmic Divide New Era NLG Level 1 frequency band. Brain cell activation frequency. Step 2. Receive energy into the brain. Receive first time. Receive second time. Receive third time. Step 3. Send energy from the brain into the ERC. Send first time. Send second time. Send third time. Step 4. Continuously direct energy into the brain and transmit it into the ERC. Let the warmth of energy spread on its own until alarm rings.
Okay, so we have just completed the practice together, everyone. So congratulations. And now that you understand how to practice the formula, or this particular formula on your own, if you are still confused, you can just go back to this part of the video, because once this live stream ends, this video will be automatically posted on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so you can always go back to it. And now I'd like to show you the QR code before we wraps up. These are the QR code to our Telegram groups, everyone. So the first one you can see here, this is the general notification channel. And then the one in the middle, this is the level 1 and 2 English channel. This is basically where you receive announcements, new post, class events, notification for when a class starts, or when it goes live. And then the third one is the chat group. So basically you can ask question in this third group here. So make sure you go ahead and scan them. Or you can take a screenshot so that you can scan them later, or you can always go back to this part of the video after the live stream is posted on YouTube and Facebook. And you can scan it afterwards if you want to, but right now I'm just going to leave this here. If people want to go ahead and scan them. And of course, we'll post the formulas on our channel as well as our chat group. We usually post it on there so that it has better quality, rather than sending emails to everyone, because as you go to the high class level, you realize that we have quite a lot of formulas for you to practice and for you to explore. So it's just not very practical to send it through to emails. Instead, we send it to our Telegram groups so that we actually have a space where everyone can share and everyone can learn. And also, if you have questions, certainly ask us there. Okay, so do we have any questions so far? I don't see any question right now, so I'll go ahead and maybe discuss some of the commonly asked question. Some people say that now that I'm an NLG participant, can I still receive healing support from Mr. Lay on the daily live stream? The answer is yes, you can still receive the healing energy support from Mr. Lay on a daily basis. It doesn't matter which class level you're at, even if you are level 5 participant, you can still come in to receive energy support from Mr. Lay. Now, when you receive the activation or when you practice, if you feel sleepy or if you feel extremely warm or maybe even hot, on the ailing parts, so basically on the ailing areas, basically that's where it's hurting, or that you know that you have a condition related to that part of the body, then it means that you're lacking in energy. Okay, so there's not enough energy for the cells in your body to function properly. And so the solution for that is to keep practicing. Okay, from an NLG perspective, it is to keep practicing so that the cells in your body can receive that daily support from you, more so from this energy source, because you regulate yourself to be in the +1 -1 frequency. So when they get this support, they will then support you back. Okay, and that's why you get to experience health transformation. So it is not that this energy coming in and do magic and then transformation happen, but it's actually supporting the cells in your body. And so the cells in your body are the ones who are giving you these healing effect that you're looking for. Now, if you are too sleepy, and a lot of the time I know that is not because you're sleepy, but because you're lacking in energy. So that's why you feel sleepy. So if it's like that, well, it could be that the cells in your body need a little bit more time to work with this energy for you to familiarize yourself with it. Or it could also be that you didn't have enough sleep the previous day. Okay, now if that's the case, remember self-love. Take good care of yourself. Okay, and also if you haven't registered everyone, then make sure that you after this class finished, you go and register using the link that we provide on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry, Facebook and Telegrams, so that we know who's attending class. It's quite important to us to know, how many people, so that we have a better understanding of how many people coming in and whether you're interested in our class or not. But we will continue to make more and more level 1 and 2 classes. As of now, they're free, so take your time to attend them. If you have friends and family who would like to learn energy, make sure that you introduce it to them. And also, if they're interested, make sure that I will just turn this screen off a little bit. So make sure that if they are interested, that you encourage them to take the classes, okay? And that needs to happen in real time, because they will need to receive the energy activation, remember? So for them to rewatch a previous class video, that's fine. If they want to revise, if they want to get an idea of what this energy is about, that's totally fine. But it doesn't mean that they will complete the class in that way. They will actually need to have the energy activation in order to be considered that they finish a class. So just make sure that when you share information with your friends and family, that you specify that with them. And it looks like there's no question for today. Hopefully that everyone understand exactly what you need to do. I will post the formula on our Telegram group as soon as I can, so that you can start practicing. Okay, so thank you everyone for participating in this class. I will see you tomorrow, and have a great time, have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for participating, and of course, on behalf of all participants here today, I'd like to say thank you to our founder, Mr. Lee, as well as the energy source from outer space, giving us the opportunity to practice love ephemerality in the ways that we're supposed to do. So I'll see you in tomorrow's class, everyone. Keep practicing the formulas, and if you have anything that you'd like to share or you have a question, make sure that you reach out to us. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye bye, and I'll see you tomorrow.